2, 3.
Alrighty, is another. Where are we? I don't think it's funny though. 28th of May. Things have been really chaotic for the old barn dog. We've just had a live event today. I've had a couple of beers this afternoon. The community was absolutely amazing. Yawn, welcome to stage. Is it just you and I today? Is Jerry off book?
I think Jerry will join us momentarily from here, but normally he's not speaking much. So basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, I mean, we've had a really turbulent week. I am looking at where are we? I'll put a weekly AMA chat up. So be aware. Normally, the first half of the chat is going to be about myself talking with Yawn, talking about the week that's been, the week that's coming up ahead, highlights, all of those kinds of things. If you are a level 20 member in the Discord, you should really contact me just before the AMA, and we will bring you up to stage. If you are a community member that's been a part of the community long enough to grind those numbers out, and you've got a question for the team, they don't stray away from those questions. I'm absolutely happy to have more and more different people come on stage. So always keep in mind that first half hour is normally pretty pivotal. It's where Yawn and I, we do our weekly dance. We come on, we talk, we have our different opinions and all these kinds of things, and we see what's going on. But Yawn, welcome to stage. Really big week. We had a midweek emergency meeting in the end, emergency AMA. How have you sort of been for the rest of the week or even the whole week?
Well, I think we were having some commotions with the FUD in the middle of the week, and we see that similar a little bit, but nothing really major. I mean, it's normal to see that when you are gaining tractions and there are people trying to sort of, what can I say, undermine the tractions, basically. So it's normal, right? So I think sometimes we overreact a little bit, and sometimes I feel that I should probably do a public apology for some of my overreactions. And but again, we human as a emotional animal, so sometimes you just have that sort of adrenaline rush and say, I'm gonna talk about something that then you're getting a little bit overreacted. But generally, the week is good. I think we pave out many of the important infrastructures. We were touching bases on that during the midweek AMA with the more of a meta structure we're trying to build, and with a series of let's say quote unquote like a launchpad type of infrastructures. Basically to put more utilities to the GMT. And I think really is our main objective to push the product out and spend less time on Twitter, maybe. So yeah, so I think that's the main sort of takeaway of the week. So yeah. Generally, the progress of everything else is great. I think you just bit of a carry away by the FUD, but it doesn't impact anything we do.
I'd look at it differently, Yawn, and I would say I don't think there needs to be an apology for the team from the week. And I'm going to give a reason why for people is you are just as human as the rest of us. Yes, you are a co-founder of the project, but you're human. Like for people that haven't met you or haven't the event in South Australia, it was only 120 people, so it wasn't a huge amount of people. But this is a project that is driven from real people. And going into the space today, we had 86 people at the start for the Greek event, and in Athens here, and we had 100 by the end of it, and we did things afterwards. We had food, we had beers, we talked about the game, we talked about the social element. But I mean, this is all new for you as well, right? Who's built a game that's worth $20 billion? Who's built a game that's going to 1 million daily active users and needs to make sure that this is good in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 10 years? It's good to me, is the way I see it. Is no one's perfect in this space, and you guys don't actually profess to be perfect. We've made mistakes as a team, yeah.
Yes, and I think really since the day one, we always focus on the product and the user experience, as well as the community buildings. So I think we didn't attract any attentions until lately that there's just some of the really unreasonable thought circulating around. And I think, in the beginning you get angry, and then you sort of get a little bit frustrated, and then you say, what did I go wrong, right? So, but then you realize that you didn't do anything wrong, and you just can't please everybody. So, that's when you decide you just have to do your work and carry out the work.
And that's the thing is, we speak to, look, this has been the best live event I've had in Adelaide, South Australia. It was awesome. But here at Greece, we started at 8 o'clock this morning. We had 60 people out the front before the gate was open at 9. And then we did the event, and we stayed there until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And real people playing the game. They weren't there because GST was $2 or $1 or $4 or $10. They were there for what the game is out to be and give to the community, and it's amazing. So, I mean, shit, what can we do? We're real people. We're dividing a project because STEPN Yawn has been built from the crypto ground up, and there's a lot of people that may have life assets. They may be drawing that GST out daily to earn a living, to make it sustainable for their life. It's kind of a bit of a balancing act, isn't it? You might have 500,000 people might actually be just trying to draw a daily wage and cashing out that coin, whereas there's the players that are in it for the long term. So it's a balancing act the whole way, isn't it?
Yes, and actually, if you look at the tweet, I think somebody was posting the average people are withdrawing out of the app, and also the average minting is pretty steady for the past whole months. So the life goes on, and the app goes on. So we move on basically. So sometimes that I think the file eventually going to settle down, and we will push out new features and roll out new infrastructures and build a more robust app and also the ecosystem. So again, sometimes I don't want to get distracted basically. So we are focusing on the negotiation on the fourth round, and also timing for the third round. So there's still lots of things going on at the background, and I think that will be enough. I think to answer the unsustainable questions, and for people that actually pay attention of what we're trying to do. I think we are trying to address the fundamental issues of sustainability in the Web3. So that you have to really drive the externalities to have value that business are willing to pay for and the consumer are willing to pay for. So, that's sort of the important part. You have to have a functional product that people are willing to pay for, and that's just the beginning. And then you create value and use that value. You can utilize the community, and through the community, you actually create a real Web3 product.
There's a couple of really big points on realms within that intro there, Yawn. So the timing on the third realm and working on the fourth realm. So I want to touch on both of those because you've mentioned now within this. It's the timing on the third realm. So this is a done deal. You've got a partner. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a blockchain. I don't want to I don't want to ask a leading in question, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a blockchain, but there is a third partner there, and we're talking 2 to 3 months where that third realm comes in. Am I close to base here?
I think so. Again, so that the third round will be more of a phase 5. That's where we're thinking about rolling, converting STEPN into more of a platform and B2B2C type of operation, so that there will be more of both the more of a retail end, and then there will be a business end, open up to, because again, this, we have to roll out this incrementally. The timing it really depends on how fast we roll out the GMT use cases. We still want to roll out a few before we roll out the realms. And so we're looking at, let's say, Q3, Q4. So definitely going to be this year. So maybe we're going to roll out not only one realm by the end of this year. So definitely that between the Q3, Q4-ish time we're looking at.
Well, you're giving it to us. I can't get my pen and pad out here quick enough to write these out. So maybe more than one realm rolled out by the end of the year, Q3, Q4. So is there any more information we can find out about the fourth realm? There's a lot of obviously huge debate, information. There's the community about it. We've talked about how the NFT doesn't necessarily need to be a sneaker, and then that leads to more debate and talk. Is there anything we can know about the fourth realm?
I think we have to do this in more of a progressive manner. So the fourth realm will not be rolled out in a hurry. So we want to, because we test the realm system on the BSC chain, and then we roll out the third one. And the third one, I think, also going to be different from the BNB chain. And we also want to improve on the third realm to adding maybe different type of changes on the fourth realm. So again, this is that we want to maybe make a little bit of a different or like a USP type of thing, so that every time when people go into a new realm, they say, "Yep, this is STEPN, but there's something new." So that's sort of the effect we want to people to see.
So that's like we said in the WoW upgrade, where we're going from level 60 to 65 to 70 to 80. You're bringing out the updates, but the updates aren't necessarily sneaker levels. They're more about realm changes, which has got gameplay changes. And we've seen from Binance, it's been like you're touching on there, it's a test. This was the second realm. Huge test. We saw there was the minting farms created, and it completely changed how the game was played on both Binance and Solana.
Yep.
So is that the just triggering and seeing how people may do it on the third realm, and then from the third realm you take that to the fourth?
Yes. So we observed the user behavior on the BSC, and then we come up with the minting scroll. So because as we see that, because the STEPN on the BSC chain, you have to consider that it is still STEPN, but it is STEPN at a different time. We come from more of the Solana realm is more, we first started, right? We start off really slowly, and we have there issues, have to fix it, and we have to build it. But then the BNB was sort of just out there, and there was and then people started migrating to BNB chain. So, and then causing the huge minting farm, and then we have to combine with the minting scroll. So then we doing the energy bridge, and then we see how people behave, where they are hoarding on the Solana chain sneakers as sort of a dry battery, and then they can use the one pair of sneakers on the BNB chain, and then use that to earn GST on BNB, which is much more expensive than Solana. So, and then this got us to change how the energy is transferring among different realms. So the third one, we will basically draw the earnings from what we've done on Solana and BNB and come up with a better design, and with good partners. And but it's also, so you consider different realm almost like a different STEPN at a different time frame.
Yeah, it's like playing classic is different than playing vanilla. But
yeah, exactly.
what you're saying, Ewan, I mean the batteries being on Solana, that was created by the team, though. You must see that. So when the team donated, we had 2,000 ASICs, and that was the launch of the Binance chain. And then we had the airdrop of the SOGs. So that was airdrop to the Genesis holders on Solana. But then, of course, those players, the majority that would be holding on to a Genesis sneaker, would understand the value. So they would already have running operations there. So quite simply, they would have gone, oh, the GST is much higher, I'm going to use that. So effectively, it's all learning from the team at the same time.
Because nobody ever run this model before. So, you've seen 100% of the, let's say you use GameFi, right? 100% of GameFi in the past, they only have one game. And when they're going off the roof, and you always come down. And because you can't tap into infinite amount of users, especially that GameFi is sort of a niche market. So we can see the lifespan of the GameFi is relatively short. You can see like long tail that the user are accumulating before it really take off. But as soon as it's taken off, you will not last for a very long time. So we are addressing this fundamental issue of this short sort of time span by having the realms over and over. So really, when people are minting new sneakers on the newer realm, they are also spending a lot of GMT. So the ultimate goal is to have people to switch over to earn the GMTs, because doesn't matter how many realms you keep rolling, you are still facing a inflationary supply of the GST, and that will still be questions of the so-called sustainabilities. But if you are mining it's like people mining Bitcoins, right? So they are mining something with a finite supply where they have a relatively good value to support, let's say with other things we build. So, but to have that crossover, you're going to take some time. And the realm is a perfect equilibrium. Again, it's like how we created between the GST and GMT earning. It's all revolve around equilibrium. And when the crossover happened, then people will make the logical, choices, and then you will see gradually that we'll have a much robust overall ecosystem. So the new opportunity will be on the new realm, but existing community will happily earn the GMT.
And like we've kind of said through the week, is that the GMT is likely going to be something from Solana. It's the possibility where Solana is the existing realm. That's the first one. It's the cheapest one. And it's always going to be the mother of the system.
I mean, you can also earn a GMT on BNB chain. Let's say once the GMT open for earning, but you will discover you better earn GST and then convert it to GMT. You probably get more. So that's the thing that you will. People will make their own choices, but let's say, when you present with one or two options, people will probably find the most beneficial options for them. So it's more like a mechanic. So you have the mechanic, and then people make their own choices.
Sorry, just to push the talk button problem there. So it's realistically min-maxing in a crypto game is about min-maxing for profit, is what we're saying. It's not necessarily about playing the game, but that min-max comes into utilizing where can we make the best USDC.
Because it's a logic pathway for people. I think we're starting to realizing that a little bit recently as well, that I don't want people to focus too much on, min-max on the earnings. Definitely that's important, but I think also with the community people are building together, and also with the, badge we're trying to roll out, where to really focus on having a healthy routines on exercising. I think earning, yes, is good, and also sometimes is also important. But if people are purely more like a min-max earning driven, sometimes it's also a little bit boring, right? So I think what people sometimes are worried about is I have to min-max up until, say, they get the money back. Definitely, that's understandable. But again, I want people to take some time to look at the different aspect of the app. Take some time to explore it when it comes to the time or chance, so that enjoy it rather than milk it. So so I think that's sort of the message I want to get across.
Yep. Welcome to stage, Jerry. And how's your week been there, mate?
Yeah, just changed my baby's nappy. Sorry, I'll be a little late.
I love it.
I'm all good. I'm all
one big thing before we deep dive into the rest of your, I think we should probably address the Chinese situation through even from your words. We saw a really big one. We had the emergency AMA. And for the people that didn't see that straight away, I apologize. That was me trying to upload it. I'm in a Greek hotel at the moment. My Wi-Fi, it took me 3 times to upload that. And from there, I can't do much. Like I kept trying and trying. So, we had a big AMA. It was a midweek emergency, and the day after, we then had a big tweet for the Chinese community, and we saw a dive on the price of the NFTs on both Binance and Solana. Solana's recovered. Binance is quite low still. Did you want to, or can you touch base on that, please?
So again, I think with the closing of the IP and GPS services of the mainland China user, it is not included in say Macau or Hong Kong or, for example, Taiwan. It's really a policy or internal review that we with app stores, right? Or with Google is not even available in mainland China. With app stores, for example, that you cannot download STEPN from the mainland China because the app store will not. Basically, it is what is the regulation not allowed. So that when we apply for global release of STEPN, only mainland China didn't get through, but people can download that from Hong Kong, and so people basically what they did is they will buy a Hong Kong Apple ID and then download that. So then you sort of have people using apps not within the regulatory allowed range, basically. So we discover this will be a non-compliance, and we basically voluntarily decided to close the GPS and IP services. But we want to do it with the greatest sort of allowance, so that for people that bought the sneakers, they will be having the opportunity basically to recover or to make plans. I think that's the reason that we extend the timeline to the 15th of July rather than do it sort of within a short period of time. So that's really the story behind it, and then then we were sort of getting a lot of even more filings, the middle of the week, and then we sort of got used to it. So there's a lot of exaggerations out there, basically trying to make a big fuss, but it's really about voluntarily comply with the regulations. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's sort of a simple thing, but it's not a simple decision, right? So it's a simple thing.
It's a simple thing, but it's not a simple thing. And what that leads me into say now, and we've talked about it, I actually think in the midweek AMA, we've got other countries in that list that say that you cannot play the game. You need to check the regulations, and US, India are 2 of the big ones that I think of. I think there's 12 countries. That's a standard crypto thing. So is this a standard crypto thing? Should people in those other countries be worried? And what do they do if they think they could be at risk?
So as we are doing our internal scrutiny of legal reviews with multiple lawyers across the world, we didn't come across with any of the US or Indian lawyers saying that you cannot do this. So that is within the regulatory allowance range. So basically, and also we have checked with the SEC that there are rules and regulations of how to be complied. So as long as you are complying, and again, I think the simplest way for people to test is that if you can download that from the App Store, if you can download that, it is allowed in that region. If not, it's not. As simple as that. And mainland China never was allowed in the first place.
Like you're saying, they've got to use that Hong Kong phone, the Hong Kong credit card to be able to utilize it.
Yeah, you just Hong Kong Apple ID, and then you can sort of, download that.
I feel the human element there. One of the people that helped me on jogging with Barn Dog is in China, and I know from his personal experience with his wife, they're separate in cities, and his family he's onboarded, and there's definitely a human need there, and I guess what options do they have? They recover their funds and sell their assets, or what, move countries? Like I don't. This is very hard for me to understand as an Australian resident, because it's very open laws for us in Australia. We can do what we pick and choose as long as we pay our tax. We can play pretty much anything. We're in all the IEOs, unlike America. We get it kind of easy. So for the people in China, then they're needing to remove those assets before the 15th, you're saying?
Okay, so because we give around 6 weeks of time, so normally speaking, we allow that they to continue to use the service up until that time. And when we come to the 15th of July, and the IP and GPS be banned, basically they cannot move around in mainland China, and they can choose to sell their asset. And if they decided to keep it, if they go to, let's say, Hong Kong or Macau, they can still use it. So it's not like we're banning the account. It's just that we cannot offer the services, or they cannot use it. And they can still access their account, let's say, once they step outside the mainland China region, then they can use the app as functional as now.
Sorry, I thought you said June. Okay, so 6 weeks, July, mid-July. People have got time. So this caused a selling of assets, didn't it? Really, like we saw Solana assets go to 5 to 7 Solana, and Binance drop to 5 BNB.
Yeah, it will cause a massive sell-off, as well as people are panicking. But we, again, looking at overall data, I think that will be restored relatively quickly. And also, once the IP and GPS ban come in effect on the 15th, I think there will be no effect to us by the time.
Yeah. I mean, we saw the floors go back off of Solana to 12 and 14 for what is it, trainers. So rather than ask, let's kick into more of it. So rather than ask all these open questions about what we've got coming out, would you like to tell us, Jorn, the next major update? What do we look forward to seeing from that?
The next update, basically, we are rolling out as we touched bases on, I think, last week. Yeah, so we're rolling out an entirely new system. And that was the one that Jerry was quite fun about, that was teasing the community that everybody's going to like it. So we basically definitely going to...
You're going to give it some respect?
We are working on the respect now. So, and as well as a few others. I mean, the progress have to be made to continue the GMT burnings. So I think we have that planned for next week release. Right, Jerry?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right. The man has talked. So yeah, definitely next week release. So it's again, it's a little bit frustrating that the new system is sort of the key of the phase 4, and I think we want to talk about it, but we can't, right? I'm being bound by what I can say. So, I mean, if we can, and we can maybe do another AMA after we release it, just talk about the features, or we can wait until next Saturday. Oh yeah.
So potential midweek, then you want by you saying there could be a AMA midweek. We might need to do that. So is it just around the corner?
Let's say next Saturday, before next Saturday. I don't want to, give promise and then got delayed. Let's just say next Saturday we should have the new feature out.
Right. So I don't know where to go from there. So there's a lot of things that we're talking about, use cases and updates and Panda Skins and Trailblazers and minting scrolls and everything. But what is it? Is it possible to announce what's coming out potentially next week?
I think we have the minting scroll next update, right?
We I don't want to give a promise, but if I can't deliver it. But yes, we are working on a new update, and it's more than minting scroll. More than that, Yang, you know it, right? Not sure about the minting scroll, but yeah, we are working on a big update.
So
I can't give the timeline. We'll try to release by the end of next week. It should be this week, but yeah. Sometimes when we design new features, sometimes we'll find could be a better way to deal with it. So we'll try something new, something different. So just delay maybe 1 week, maybe a little bit more, but not. Yeah, we are working on it.
Yeah, I hate to talk in riddles, but with the new update, the entire workload is about almost as much as the entire STEPN project up until now. Is a pretty big system.
Yeah, I mean, there's always so much though. A lot of the new factors, new rules that come in change the system all round. Can we touch any more on the energy system update? I'm going to get a lot of texts and messages today. Is there any more information about that at the moment?
So, energy system will not be rolled out for another 3 weeks. I think we can talk about some alphas next week. How about that, Jerry?
Yes.
Okay.
Like
so
that gives the community some time. So you're saying next week we can potentially find out what the changes may be.
Yeah. So as I said, you will create an entirely new way of playing STEPN on Solana.
Before I go to open crowd questions, there's one other. People ask me things through the week every time. Now we know that gems are we're allowed to play multiple accounts. That's off the grey area. Gems, is that any time soon to be added where people can send them from one account to another? At the moment, you have to sell and rebuy a gem.
I think that's will be yeah, that part is not in the development pipeline. So I think that will stay in this way up until we look into this.
Just that we see that it was an anti-cheating mechanic, people sending gems from one account to the other, but now that it's active, you're allowed to have multi accounts. Some people think that maybe we can send those assets.
I think the multi account, again, as I said many times, is not what we encourage, but is something that people choose to do. So it will be mechanics in the future that to get people to make a choice. So until the new mechanic rollout, we, let's say we count. Let's say we say we don't allow multi-account, but people do it anyway. So that is something I think things that we don't have time to deal with now, but again, with multi-account is sort of not what we encourage. So we will come to that once we got time to deal with it.
Alrighty. I mean, we're halfway through the AMA. Do you want to crack into some crowd questions?
Yeah, of course.
Right. This is a good one because it's, I guess, a little bit about crypto basics. But what is the reason you have included the largest countries in the list of countries that are prohibited from using STEPN?
It's again, it is what the regulations of mainland China are toward application like us. So it's not that we don't want to access to the mainland China's user is what we are bound by legal requirements. So if one day that the mainland China's policy have changed, we'll be happy to reopen the sort of the basically to lift the IP and GPS ban.
And we see that on effectively all crypto products list those same countries, yeah?
Sorry?
So a lot of the crypto projects, IOs, drops like that, they list the same list of countries. It's all to do with regulations of what their country allows.
Yes. So is again, I think so. So I want to clarify that is the regulatory ambiguities that one basically says that they have regulation 1, 2, 3 that we cannot do, and also there are also areas that there's no regulation to explain. So when you're seeking regulatory guidance, and basically the lawyer says there's no law, and we don't know what to do. So basically, when there is a clear regulatory guidance, and then you can say, all right, now we have the guidance. We just follow this step 1, 2, 3. Then we can do it as much as we complied. Then you should be fine. But the current situation is that there's no such guidance there, and then it become very difficult for us. So basically, we are also waiting for a clear regulatory guidance in mainland China. Once they have it, we can basically be compliant, then open up the market.
Okay, the next one's about the missing assets. Are there plans to hire more customer support? It seems that we're getting more issues with 2FA missing assets, waiting days. Are we gearing up for that?
We are hiring new customer support on daily basis, and I have to really address that. With the missing asset, over 90%, what we have spent a lot of time to track and to trace and to investigate, and it turned out that all these missing assets are self-orchestrated fraud that people want to do on us, and that really pissed me off a lot. That we have spent a lot of energy and manpower basically to assist with the request, only find out that they are doing this basically, say, oh, I got my asset missing and then got a friend hack their account. So definitely there's something we have to do with that in the future.
Fighting the system.
And it's simply not acceptable that, doing massive fraud to us. So we will come up with some solutions to that. And this type of behavior actually are damaging the people actually need help, right? When you are flooding with 10,000 emails every day saying that their asset got stolen, which is not, people that actually get their assets stolen or they actually get their assets stuck in somewhere will not get the help up until we get to them. And that is the frustrating part. So we will come up with a solution for that.
I like that. So, I mean, it's a reality, isn't it? If you're wasting time on a false claim, it's time that you can't get back. Okay, let's go to the next one. Can we be told more about badges? We have something pretty exciting launched, mentioned last week. Can we inform any more about that?
So during the upcoming CoinMarketCap conference, we will drop the first batch of 5,000, like a attendance badge to the attendance of the CMC conferences. So I think that will be marked the beginning of the badge system, and also I'm trying to finish all the works before this quarter so that we can get on the achievement. I sort of got missed out playing World of Warcraft for many months. It'd be nice to open the app and open the game and check their achievement system and find some inspirations.
The Strava leaderboard. There's a Strava leaderboard, yeah. So we've just had that launched, and there's people vying to get into the top 50, top 100. I guess is that the integration, the start of if people want that achievement to get the kilometers up on that?
The Strava is actually, we open up the Strava Ambassador program, which we pinned in our Twitter description sections. That if people are really active or are influencers on Strava, we are basically looking for Strava ambassadors. Really, I mean, this is the thing that once the Web3 getting a little bit of toxic with all the fundings, and many people are little bit been spoiled sometimes. Some apologies for saying that. So I think we will just do this as our pace, to attract more Web2 users. And we find Strava actually to be an excellent gateway for us to access the Web2 users. That is already active in fitness, and they already have a habit. So it would be nice for them to try STEPN, for a change. They are running anyway.
But there's actually a Strava leaderboard at the moment on the
yes,
the STEPN.
We have the STEPN club. STEPN club in Strava. So we are running on Twitter, Instagram. So now on Strava.
All right, let's get into this. Is a good one because it leads you into a question to talk about what we mentioned midweek, which was pretty exciting. About Realms, is the marketplace, will it be separate or will there be one blockchain? For example, need to switch between two realms in Solana blockchain to have specific shoes. So do you want to talk about the decks a little bit, Dawn?
So as we disclosed in the midweek AMA, so we will not only be building STEPN, that's the sort of the reason that we're recruiting over 100 developers around the world to working on several projects concurrently, and all fueled by the GMT basically. So DEX is one of the projects we actually started about 2 months ago, and we're trying to build a multi-chain DEX. So one basically for Solana and one for the BNB chain, which also will be for the EVM. And then we'll gradually test it. We're starting to test it in June by gradually adding liquidities so that people will not feel anything at the front. And once we are satisfied with the DEX, we'll gradually to have the front end where people can, let's say, create LP pairs or to adding LP pairs for other tokens pairs. So so that's sort of the plan. So it'll be a two-tiered plan. One is to offer services for STEPN users, and then to open up the front end to tap into non-STEPN users.
Next question here from Deadpool. How about having a badge that requires you to put in a certain amount of hours in an old realm before you can go into a new realm?
Very good thinking. They need to work. They need to wait until they see the energy system. So there actually are other sort of prerequisites, but I think we want to roll it out once we doing the additional realms release. I mean not the third one, but for the first or 5. We probably will have additional requirement for user to meet before they can cross over to the newer realm.
Well, I'm going to say this. It's a bit of a. Let me check this one second. So I'm going to address this for low-level user, but I disagree with the point of it. So Barndog, it's horrible to say that. So this must be from the beginning at the start of the AMA. If you don't have the skills in the team, you make mistakes, hire a CEO that's more experienced and skills are less likely to make mistakes. So whoever in the world has made a company and a game that has got 800 to 1 million daily active users, and this is some of the FUD and stuff we've seen in channels. So, I mean, I want to open, the reason I'm reading this question is now is I want to open this to the team is you guys have been very open about the fact that we may make mistakes. We work on it and you grow. Has anyone done a game like this before? Has there been anything outside of Axie that's even come close?
Yeah, so one is that for people that never developed the game, they might not get it. That all game developing will take time to get the data right, the modeling right, and all the aspect of things right. I hate to going back to the reference of the World of Warcraft, but they make a lot of mistakes and they have to rectify that. Mistake could be in a mechanic way or in a design way, right? So they're trying to nerf or buff different career up until now, basically. So it's all balancing, right? So there's nothing is perfect. As you progress, something that not important will become important down the track. So again, that's sort of the FUD, and we believe very much of them are all paid for. I don't know who paying them, but again, for saying things that are unreasonable like this, I hope people can distinguish, right? The real concern, when people have a real concern and genuine interest in the, future of the app, that basically will listen to that and will, make changes. And with many of the recommendations we receive, we have made changes to reflect that. Yeah, I mean, I just get speechless of what to respond to this type of accusations. Making apps.
Gotcha question, though, isn't it, Jorn? It's a bit of a gotcha question where people just want to get you to say the wrong thing.
Pretty much, and sometimes you the most difficult part is telling yourself I should just shut up, and you say I'm not gonna shut up. I'm gonna say something, and yeah.
Yeah, let's keep going with the questions. Can you tell us what you think about minting farms? The question, the way it read to me, sounded good because I wanted to pivot the question slightly. So the question is, do you think the game without minting scrolls is getting into the late game too fast? I kind of wanted to pivot the question into, is minting scrolls a way of catch-up mechanics at play? A lot of people don't understand what catch-up mechanics are. It's not Mario Kart where you're sitting behind a Mario Kart and you get the boost and you can go overtaking. But catch-up mechanics, energy in a game is valued the same if a minting scroll takes 5 to 6 energy, whether you've got a common sneaker as your lead or uncommon rare epic sneaker. It's 5 or 6 energy is 5 or 6 energy. So is the minting scrolls designed to be a mechanic which is a catch-up mechanic, or is it something to completely combat the minting farms?
Okay, so this is the thing that we witnessed on the BNB chain. So at the beginning of the game open, where the BNB chain become available, minting is a huge, have huge profitabilities. But it is normally done with people with a lot of capitals and also are very much taking the risk and buying a lot of holding on the GSC and causing sort of extreme price fluctuations. And then because people are driven by profit, but they are not actually running. So that actually defies the whole purpose of the app, is getting people outside and being active. So we believe that the minting scroll will balance that by giving some extra returns for the people that are actually running. Basically, so consider minting scroll as a revenue share from the people doing a lot of mintings but no runnings. Right, they have to buy the minting scroll of people that actually did the runnings, and in that way, revenue are shared between the runners and the minters.
Oh, I like this one regarding scrolls from Dan Stever. Missed branding opportunity. And I like this. Should it be called laces instead of scrolls? up-brand opportunity. So you need laces to be able to mint sneakers together.
Too bad. We already designed the scroll look. All the UX for that.
I do like it though. There's little things, that you see like that. Laces, bang, you need 2 pairs of laces, 1 pair of laces per sneaker. It kind of makes a bit of sense.
Yeah, but again, when you think about it, right? You put 2 sneakers together and you're like a mint or put another sneaker. That doesn't make sense. So scroll makes perfect sense in this.
I think I can show the new design of the mini scroll later. Kind of.
The minting scroll is like a pattern, and you need that pattern to be able to mint the next one. I get it from that, but the lace is actually, that's the first time I've seen it.
I mean, at the beginning of the design, we were thinking about to make sneakers like, in traditional games, right? You have like a lace, have a sole, you have skin, you have, all sort of things that you almost like you equipped all this and you form one sneaker. But then it's getting really difficult to design and, and also randomize them, right? You can't mass produce all these things. So I said, yeah, probably not. So, yeah. We actually thought about that idea at the very beginning.
All right, I've got a few quick fire questions here. How much GMT is burned every day? How much GMT has been burned?
I think now around 130 million are being burned. And we're burning at about 5 million per day ish.
Will Trailblazers triple earning be Solana only or BNB as well?
I think that's where people need to make a choice. Yeah, so it will be made to the Trailblazers. Yeah, we're gonna actually talk about that. I think we made available just to the account, and then people can make the choice.
Will the attribute point reset feature come out before or the same time as GMT earning?
Definitely before GMT earning. We are rolling out various of these couple days ago actually. So refining on the US at the moment. So yeah, so it's definitely in the pipelines, and we are closing with the design and everything.
Can we get an update on the FOMO event?
FOMO is still going to be planned for Q3, so we still have at least 2 months. I think FOMO will look in this into a almost like a Trailblazer event, so that we want to sort of give more head up to people before we roll it out.
All right, going through the rest of the questions, that was a good couple of common questions often asked, but it's good to get them updates every week. Aeroplane bug. So it's obviously still going, the aeroplane bug. I'm not sure, Jorn or Jerry, I want to talk about that, but there's several questions.
We noticed that, but again, we are pushing out a few major updates at the moment. So it's like the people falsify and fraud on us. That will be addressed once we got the time.
We will start the airdrop from the 3rd of May to the airdrop lots. Stay tuned for part B. Public beta phase 4. Hi, part 4 hasn't been announced. Can you reveal a bit more about it? So this was from a live tweet.
Sorry, which one?
On the 4th, no, the beginning of May. So at the beginning of this month on a Twitter tweet, there was the airdrop mentioned from the 3rd of May. That wasn't the 3rd of May the Binance sneakers?
3rd of May. Yeah, we're still running that, right? We are that's a 500 followers, 500,000 followers on Twitter, and we give away 50 Genesis sneakers on the BNB chain, and we are doing the random drawing for 25 days consecutively, and I think we are up to something like a 16 or 17 pairs.
Yeah,
we're still running that. Yeah.
but it's got stay tuned for part B, ...
Okay, part B is basically, did I say that?
That's on Twitter. So you haven't told us, that's what we're asking.
Let me have a look.
1st of May.
I'll come back to you on that. Part B. It is a 500K sneaker giveaway.
And that was 50 over 25 days, which is huge. 50 Genesis shoe boxes over 25 days, 2 per day. And like you said, we're at 16, 17 thereabouts.
I'll come back on that. I probably forgot what I'm going to say on the part B, but I'll find out and let you know.
All right, so I have seen several people in the crowd talking about audio problems. The audio problem's been pretty good over the last couple of weeks, whereas we had the issues with the 500,000 people, and that caused a huge amount of matrix effects, people being in there and out. But just for people, maybe if you see the chat and it's not answered, let them know, just log out, come back into the channel. I've got a question here asking for a stable price on GST. We can't ask the team on this, so the team doesn't launch the GST. Also ask when listing Solana GST on Binance. That's never going to happen. They're different coins, different tokens. You have to on each chain. And
now, if you look at the,
are we going to call them different coins, Yawn, Jerry? Are we going to have a BSC, SGST to separate the fact that they are 2 different coins?
You check the coin market cap or CoinGecko, they're already separating the GST on these chains. And also, if we're rolling out a new round, we might not even call it GST. They can, the partner can define the name of it.
Oh, I did Tavern Side. He's one of our moderators and a legend in the community. I saw a list of when are we looking at potentially for level 5 gems. I saw some big boys say at Greece and from Costa, and shout out, it was good. They had 4 level 4 gems in his sneakers. So is there a time frame on level 5 plus gems?
There already, I already see 1 level 5 on Twitter. So people can go over to, yeah. I think they are selling for 1,700 Solana.
No, level 5 gems.
Yeah, check Twitter, you should find it.
All right, everybody pauses, everybody checks their app and goes to gems, filter, no.
No?
Yes,
Okay.
they are there.
Oh.
2,000 Solanas for a level 5 red gem. When did that sneak in? What's going on?
I just read a tweet today, so definitely, yeah, the price goes up.
Oof, that's a big red gem. That's a cool looking gem. Plus 200 stats, 1,400%. So it goes from 600 to 1,400% and 72, 75 to 200. Whew. I'm getting some new luck in my sneakers. Let's keep going back with it. Wowzers. All right, so level 5s are in there. That was Tavern Side. Very, very cool. A lot of similar questions. I don't think we've touched on the Panda Skin event question tonight, Mr. Yawn.
Okay, so yeah, Panda Skin. So okay, this is a new seasonal feature we're gonna roll out, right? So it will be the Panda Skin, you consider Panda Skin is like a bonus. So what you are really getting is to burn gems, and then when you burn gems, your socket quality will be reset. So let's say if you have a level 2 socket quality, and you can get maybe level 3, or you can be unfortunate and go back to level 1. So you basically just have to burn gems to improve your socket qualities. And the Panda Skin is just something that you will receive on very rare chances that while you are burning gems, right? So, but you can burn high quality gems to increase the chance of getting a Panda Skin. So you burn higher quality gems, you will still be resetting your socket, but you will just have a higher quality to get a Panda Skin.
Still very keen to see how that works. For people not knowing socket qualities, you should absolutely see some videos on it. Plenty of people have done them out there. It's huge. It's huge for how it works for the numbers on your actual game.
So again, being proactive is always what we do, and in the end, we want to balance between the inflation and deflation of both the NFT asset and also the tokens. So there are token and asset that are infinite supply, which we will implement various of ways to reduce the supply to restore the balance. So burning the gem is just one way of restoring the balance and also create a demand for the gems. Plus the burning sneakers feature that we're going to roll out as well. Reset the attribute point, not reset, but to improve the sneakers attribute point.
Just scrolling down towards, we've got a few more questions. Let's knock them out. It's only just gone the hour. There was something about future in the app for fitness tips. The fitness side of it, we don't have it huge in the game at the moment. Is there anything in the direct future that's going to be bringing out tips or fitness or any of that kind of stuff?
The fitness tip, I think Eden Tyson is running the fitness tip sort of a session to talk about warm-ups and the stretches and general well-being.
That's twice a week now he's doing as well, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I think me and Jared actually will talk about this today. But we have some vague ideas of adding more fitness sort of you can say features, but it's something basically in the exploring stage.
Right, so I've answered the is the reset coming, the respecking with GMT, that'll come out before. Lord Upa. So Lord Upa has asked when airdrop for ASICs. So do you want to touch on Genesis and the ASICs being a part of that?
So ASIC and Solana will be taking us Genesis sneaker, and they will be having their moment when we need more sneakers on different places.
In the third realm. Come on, say third realm.
I have to do more studies, but Genesis sneaker basically will have some perks, and airdrop is one of them.
All right. Will the 125% strategy still be allowed, or is it going to be controlled in the future? I think we may have asked was this allowed in the 150%? The team didn't expect it to be played, but I think that's still fair game, isn't it? With the game and the way how it's playing.
I mean, because you take 125 or 150% of energies, yes, but the next day you will have only 75 or 50% of energies. So you basically you have overdraft your next day's energy, and people do that
actually, It's not a bug. It's not a cheat, is it? It's just a tactic, which wouldn't the team really respect the players thinking about it, because they're gaming. They're gaming. They're actually playing a game. They're not cheating. It's just utilizing it to their best advantage.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's great to have this type of people exploring what else they can do with that. We haven't never thought about that. People can do 125 or even 150% of energies, and now people do it, and they will say, yeah, actually, smart play, well played, and getting a higher quality of mystery box. Yes, that's okay.
I'm seeing messages coming because people are tagging me in Discord and different channels. Weekly AMA, it's on the event stages channel. Please, for everyone listening in, by all means, ask the questions. I'm going through them. We're almost done. When will STEPN launch a guild system? I had this asked live today. The team has talked about it on Twitter and talked about the guild system as such. Maybe, do you want to talk about the DAO system eventualities there? I guess it leads into what STEPN
Okay.
about.
This is really going to more of a higher level thinking. Many things that in the the Web3 or call it crypto world is not really sustainable or well thought. And with all the DAO structure happened like crazy for the past year up until now, we can see that if we don't create a robust system and community, and also how you pick the right people to run the community, then you will having the Jack Sparrows of the DAO structure, right? People are, benefiting themselves or not voting, and many mechanics was designed not really carefully or so up, So we want to change how the DAO structure is formed. And we are taking our time to run the offline event, to have people really work with us on and offline. So you need people that really engage in the community, that will not fail the community before we can even proceed to form a great DAO structure. And I think I touched that last month, with the city DAO sort of a structure that you want to have more like a reputation system. That's something more like a way. I'm studying at the moment. How do we pick the true council members or committee members, for example, of the DAO, and will they be able to do their work or job properly and be altruistic, basically helping others and taking responsibilities, then avoiding responsibilities, basically. So it is all exploring, and but we do believe that have people meet offline to see each other face to face and build the connection will be the first step of achieving a true DAO structure. And so far, we don't see that happening on Web3. We hope that we can set some let's say paradigms, hopefully, for future DAO structures. But again, no one tried this before us, so that a lot of things we have to do ourselves and design ourselves and to test ourselves. Sometimes things can go wrong and we have to go back and change it. But I think we do that for the best of the community and for the best of the project.
I guess I've got to say on that, you're being here at the Athens DAO event, the Hacker House 10 in Athens, Greece. STEPN is definitely on the DAO, the DAO side of things. They're definitely unaware. And this is the Athens DAO was brought by Grape, and then Solana backed it in the last couple of weeks, and it became the Hacker House 10. STEPN is potentially one of the best ways to onboard crypto natives into crypto space. And then they are people that could potentially form DAO structures later on down the track. It's definitely something that they were talking about this week. STEPN, what can it do? How can it help DAOs? How can it bring new people to help drive these DAOs? Because a lot of it requires work. It requires bums and seats. Something I used to say in my gaming side of things is that to run a DAO, you need people that are prepared to work. And sometimes it's for no money. It's to do it because you believe in the system.
Yes, and we have seen that many times in the history that people need to believe in something, that they also have to believe each other, and they also have to trust. Although that we say on the blockchain we don't need to trust, right? Because it's a trustless or permissionless system. But again, we as a human running, in this society, we are not independent. We're all connected, and there has to be trust involved. There has to be belief involved, and then you have to sort of cultivate that, and that could be really difficult to build. but so easy to undermine. And for what we see is that for what we build, it is super important for us to protect the community and also to allow the community to grow. Not being affected by the FUD.
All right, we've done the hour. We've gone 10 minutes over. I thought I was at the end of the question list. I got up to about 1:45. So the last 15 minutes of questions. There's a lot of people asking the same stuff about assets. Why not focus on game? Was one. We're focused on the game. Every week, people must realise I ask about the game first and foremost. I'm a gamer, and seeing that it's like you and Jerry. This is a team of gamers building a game. It's about a lot more than the game, but I'm happy to close the stage down and start looking towards the end here. Jorn, Jerry, it's been a really big week. It's been a turbulent week. We had a special AMA midweek. We've seen live events. We've seen the Miami live event. We've now had the Athens event today. I cannot wait to get some videos up for that. It was absolutely amazing. It was a bit of a funny course. We did 4 kilometers. And this, to me, afterwards, we spent 4 hours with the community, just having a drink, having a feed, talking about STEPN, talking about real life, how things are going. So to me, it's about more than just earning GST. It's about more than just the one thing. It's a complete totality of a game. So, Jorn, Jerry, I mean, from me personally, this is really awesome. I'm in love with what I do in the community, and it's, I guess, I get a lot of push from some of the community as to they don't see us as professional, these AMAs, and I've seen it a couple tonight. So would you like to say why would you someone like Barndog, why me? Why are we doing AMA in a hotel room at the moment? And is this part of just we're doing it, or would you like to touch on that, Buzz?
Yeah, so we cut off a little bit, so I got like a really difficult to get the question, but I think yeah. Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
So I've had a great time in the whole game process that we've been in with STEPN, the whole process of where we are. We're 6 months into the game, but live events around the world. But we've had a little pushback in the community now. STEPN is a big deal. It's a $20 billion project once market cap, but we're very grassroots with these AMAs, right? Sometimes they're a bit late. They're uploaded late. This week it took 24 hours and 3 times for me to upload it. So there's some people in the community saying, do we need a more professional setup? Or why is the team sticking with someone like me, I guess? We've had it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, this is part of, are we grassroots? Is this what you guys have aimed for? Is anything going to change in the future?
Yes, definitely. So we are grassroots, and we are, me and Jerry are simple men, and we live a simple life before, we make STEPN, basically. And we want to create a simple app, and we want to talk to and unite simple people. And, we talk about this is a Web3 lifestyle app. And, it is a lifestyle we're trying to create. And, us, we talked to Barndog like almost 5-6 months ago that invite Barndog to be our host, and we talk about things and we crack a joke. It's all about being part of the new lifestyle we're trying to create. And we don't really want to get people to all focus on, min-max returns. And I think that part is good. That part is the incentive part where motivate people to get them moving, but it's not the whole part of the app. We really want to stay as a grassroots. It doesn't matter, the market cap. I don't even know the market cap. And it is the community we're trying to build. And it's a community that people cannot take away, right? So, people were asking, you have the AMA and what happened? You say something wrong, this and that. But this is the one channel we engage with the community. That's the one channel that people asking questions, and they can express, if they have any opinions or if they have any feedbacks. and we're here to communicate and here to listen. And we see that is important. You know, I see that as almost the most important part of creating this app is to have a community that to grow with us. So yeah, definitely we're going to sit back here every week and talk about things that maybe people don't want to listen, but you know, maybe some people find entertaining.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Jorn. Thank you, Jerry. So any closing thoughts, Jerry, from yourself tonight? I know you're always a man. You're very quiet, sitting in there, working in the office. Any closing thoughts?
I'm pretty good. I leave the time to Jan.
You know, when we come to Sydney, Jerry, you're going to have to say hello.
Hello. Welcome to Sydney.
Jorn, any closing thoughts from tonight?
I think it is, you know, always our pivotal objective to build the app and build communities. We're gonna be coming down from all the fat and continue of what we're doing. I think that's the best way that we react to the fact that you know, there will be no effect for us.
Very awesome. So we had a week, turbulent week. We've talked about a couple of times now tonight. So next week we've got Paris live. We've got a huge week where there's a lot of people traveling around Europe to come to that Paris event. So there was limited numbers. Most of the events are limited at the moment due to COVID restrictions through the countries, or site restrictions. So if you are local to areas like that, I think Chicago is Monday. Is that this Monday? I believe. So stepnworld.com. Keep your eyes on that. There are many events. I had something mentioned tonight. I did forget to ask. There was Austin, Texas. I think is something happening. Jorn, have we got anything happening there?
Austin, I think there was one planning. I have to double check. Because we have like a STEPN organized event, and also there are fan events. So we are now trying to curate them at stepnworld.com. So
yeah, we definitely got to use those resources. So I mean, we're here every week. We've been here since December. The team comes back. They did a special one this week. I look forward to them all the time. But thank you, Jorn. Thank you, Jerry. For the community that checked in, we had 5,000 to 6,000 tonight, so it's a big one. Thank you all for coming along, and we will see you next weekend.
Okay, thank you, Bandog.
Thank you.